welcome. I have Jez with me from Fabriq Hair. How you doing, Jez? You okay?
I'm very well. Thank you for inviting me today.
Great to have you on. So for those of you that don't know, tell us a little bit about your journeys, kind of from the sort of early days in the salon to kind of what you're doing now.
Okay, so I grew up in a family hairdressing business, and as soon as I started work as a Saturday boy, I just loved it. For one thing, it wasn't school, and I just loved being around the atmosphere, the buzz, where the family had barbershops and a ladies' salon. And then I went to my first, I left school finished the exam one day, started work the next day.
Yeah.
And I went to my first trade show in London and my mind was blown.
Who was that?
It's an event called Salon International. It's still going. And you had like from a local town salon, which did local town work, you had all these big international artists flying from different countries, and the work was sensational and the attitude, it was very rock and roll, very sexy, very exciting. So I said to my dad, sorry, I'm out of here and go work in London because that seems to be where it's at.
Yeah.
And so went and did my training in London, completed my training, and then the family business needed me back in Luton. So I left there, went back to the family business. And I think they thought because I trained in London, I was going to be something special. I thought I was going to be something. And of course, I was 18, 19, and completely out of my depth. But you learn. And then went to work Bermuda for a while, which was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Experience. Worked hard, party hard. And then the family business needed me again.
Yeah.
So I ended up managing and then ended up owning, bought out my uncle and owned the salon. And then got into product developing because someone sent me an article for this new amazing treatment that was available in America, and it couldn't be got in UK. And one person had it and wasn't interested in sharing, it seemed. So I found someone to make it for us and got into product developing, started in 2008, and we launched in 2009.
Wow.
So which is quite a while ago now.
Yeah. So you've gone from this family business and then you've kind of shifted in a slightly different direction. How does what you're doing now compare with what you were doing back in the day working in the salon?
I think in certain ways it's still that kid who got the thrill out of delighting people.
Yeah, sure.
And when you go to your barber, you go to your hairdresser, and they get the joy from your joy. Yes, you pay them, but you know they're really into it and they're your partner with your hair.
Yeah, yeah.
So now I get the thrill of developing products that are used from here all the way to Australia.
Yeah.
And I know I'm part of that journey for a hairdresser to delight their clients. When I was a salon owner, manager, trainer, I was very much in control of my world. My salon was my world. With the team, we created a culture and environment, and we could reinforce that every day.
Yeah.
Now I'm selling with distributors to salons and the hairdressers are using with their clients. So I'm very much removed from that day-to-day experience.
Yeah.
Where my team working around, I only had one salon, my team working around me, I was part of it.
Yeah.
It's different. And I've had to learn an awful lot more. I thought I knew a lot to be able to do my job as a salon hairdresser, but now I have to learn the chemistry, biology, understand the science in a way that others haven't, or they haven't been able to explain it to me to help my developments.
Yeah.
So if I understand more, then I can ask better questions of the chemists and we can come up with better answers.
Absolutely. We talked off air a little while ago about the sort of relationship that you have in a salon. How important are relationships in the business now in terms of dealing with those partners, distributors, those types of things?
I think a lot over the last few years has gone online. A lot of the large brands, the very largest brands and world famous names, they sell on discounted platforms online.
Yeah.
So the smaller challenger companies like ourselves can't play that game, don't want to play that game. Because also as a hairdresser, if I was still buying those products, I'd be very upset about being undercut
Yeah,
when they're meant
sure.
to be my supplier partner.
Yeah, it's a balance that, I guess.
Yes, so for us, there's an opportunity of not doing that, of actually having this trilogy or trinity of professional, brand, consumer in a partnership together, and we all work together.
Yeah.
So to me, it's an opportunity where others are going down the discount platforms very successfully for them. It's creating a gap in the market for a challenger brand to say, actually, we're never going to be taking the business away from you. We want to grow through that area.
Yeah.
But it's very personal business, because I think every client will go to a hairdresser, and it's not just how accurate or how nice the fade is or anything like that. It's much more than that. It's only 50% of it. It's very much relationship business. That's why it's not going to get a coffee, or it's not ordering something from online platform. It's so personality driven.
Yeah.
And I think it's a partnership. You find the right hairdresser for you.
And
They guide you. They listen to you. You listen to them.
it is. It's. I mean, it's. Yeah. I think we're all, whether men or women, we're all. It's a very personal thing going to get your hair cut, and it's. Yeah.
Yeah.
You end up going to the same place over and over again.
And I think the world's become very transactional.
Yeah.
And yes, as a customer, consumer, it's great. You go online, you see your options, you buy it, and it's like in and out very quickly. But not everything should be that way.
Yeah.
And when we go to, let's say, a restaurant, yeah, the food can be really good, but it's the service that is probably most memorable.
Yeah, it's a combination of both, isn't it? Really, I think it's yeah, definitely. I mean, you have a fairly strong B2B focus in what you're doing. What talk to me about how you sort of explore that direct to consumer side of things and the challenges around that.
Well, I think it's something that we do want to grow,
Yeah,
but not competing with our business to business relationships. So I think there's, in reality, a lot of the hairdressing businesses now are freelance operators.
yeah,
So they don't necessarily carry the home care with them. So we need to find ways, and we're looking at things like affiliate schemes where actually they can still earn by recommending us.
sure.
But my mission, I suppose, is I want to help grow those individual businesses. So we look at every which way we can do that, and we share in the success. It's not a case of like a zero-sum game. We should all grow together.
Yeah,
In fact, I was at a wedding this weekend. I heard something really inspiring by the officiator, who was saying about, like, if he gives someone £10, they're £10 up and he's £10 down. But if he's got a lit candle and they've got an unlit candle, he can help light their candle and they both
benefit.
gain. There's no down. I thought that's relationship trading.
Yes, it's a good way of looking at it for sure.
And I'm like, this is a conversation I want to have with every distributor we have. Their success is how we all grow.
Yeah,
And their success comes from their salons and individual hairdressers' success. So I love that. Although it was at a wedding, everything is aligned. And I just thought, for business, it is not, I sell, I just take your money. It's like, we grow.
grow together.
That's exciting. Like,
Yeah.
that's motivating.
Yeah. Going back to your journey, well, obviously when we were talking before, and I've done my research, if you like, but you've gone through what the three, is it three brands you've got now, or is it's just the two, or talk me through that.
So we launched in 2009 as Kerastraight because it was a keratin product that made the hair straighter.
Yeah.
And I'd taken a brand into my salon, and when you Googled it, it was the name of a Greek queen.
Okay.
Or Greek goddess, I think.
Yeah.
So so that wasn't really in service. So when we launched it, I really wanted to have a name that we owned and was descriptive, because I felt that was in more service in 2009.
Yeah.
Now we're 16 years on, being so literal is now no longer in service. we want to be more inspiring. So in 2022, we rebranded to Fabriq.
Yeah. Okay.
Because my hairdressing hero, the late Trev Sorby, spoke of hair as a fabric. And I always think of fabric as a really healthy material, something like luxurious, a silk, a satin, a velvet, rather than a bit of cloth.
Yeah.
So this is a fabric. So, and we could have it as a queue at the end so we could easily identify and people could find us.
Yeah.
So we rebranded Fabriq in 2022. And we wanted to change the words to be a bit more inspiring and allow the hairdressers to say what they wanted to say rather than sell it. I always recommend, where we have treatments, solve issues rather than sell treatments,
Yeah.
because people want solutions. That's why they go to an expert. And then also our factory we've worked with since 2008. In 2014, they came to us with another product that they thought would be helpful for us in what's called the bond building sector, which is essentially, these are a new version of treatment that allows repair in chemical services which normally cause damage. So without getting very technical here, when people have perms, strengthening products with chemicals and colors, to change the hair, they normally have to create damage. And a company came up with a different way, an additive that could change that. And our factory came up with a protein version, because we work with proteins. And then we worked with them to develop that. So we now have two brands. We have Fabriq and we have Innolux,
Yeah.
which is innovation and luxury jammed together, which are hair treatments and products in different parts of different services within the hair sector. And some of our distributors and hairdressing salons have both, and some have one and some the other. So we actually run them as separate companies. And the innovations, what we learn from one, we see how we can apply it into the other.
Yeah.
So they're kind of chasing each other up the ladder.
That must be. Is that not hard juggling two businesses at the same time?
There's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
But they are both in product development. They're both in development and marketing of treatments.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of similarities, but they have their own characters. And our team, we have a small team, but no, it's not difficult, because it's like, what's in service to that business? What's in service to that customer? And if the customer only wants to buy one of the brands, that's fine. We'll make it, people are aware of it, but that's fine. Some of our distributors have one brand and they have a competitor for the other brand.
Yeah.
And that's their choice. We welcome them to work with us for both.
Yeah.
But actually, it's just respecting their choice. They don't work for us. We work in partnership.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Of course, we prefer it when they take both.
Hey, of course, absolutely. What's going back over the 16 years you've been doing this? What would you say is the biggest lesson that you've learned in those 16 years?
The biggest lesson, well, to begin with, I didn't realize what I didn't know. I suppose you never know what you don't know until you start learning it.
Yeah.
So when we first started, I really didn't understand the professional distributor model.
Yeah.
So we were doing everything we had no systems in place. And I had a business partner, John, who was fantastic. He was with me for the first 15 years of our journey, and then wanted to do different things. But he was working full time. I was still working my salon full time. So it was very much a side hustle, if you like.
Yeah.
Until it grew and overtook it. And I suppose I like to be surrounded with people who know what they're doing, but equally people who don't know what they're doing, who aren't beaten up by how things should be done, because they're the ones who come up with fresh ideas.
Yeah.
So I like that two sides of it. I think we've made a lot of mistakes, or I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, and you look to learn.
Yeah. What do you think's what's the biggest mistake you made that you're prepared to tell us?
I would say probably trying to make sure everything is in the way I feel it should be. So I've probably been a little bit inflexible at times.
Yeah.
Someone said to me years ago, when you put policy ahead of people, you lose people.
Sure.
But I think it's not an exact science. It's very difficult to know which principles you can sacrifice and which ones you can't, because you're trying to do the right things on good principles.
Yeah.
One of the things that we've never traded discounted online, that isn't who we are.
Yeah.
And that's a principle I don't want to lose. I think sometimes timing goes against you. Like, pandemic was tough for us. Because we weren't a very big online business.
Yeah.
So that was harder for offline businesses. And some of our newest distributors were brand new and didn't survive it.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think I'm kind of ambition now is to surround myself with people who I can agree with,
Yeah.
who are more expert in their part of the job. And my job is the mission and their job is the mastery, mate. I think when John was with me, we spoke a few times about investment, and that's something I think would be good. And in service right now, so I'm investigating some options. Because I think being a small company with the best product is not in service, because you lose business to higher marketing spend at times.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Which is frustrating.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a challenge for the smaller business. How do you how do you sort of balance that the sort of the marketing side of things and getting your name out there when you've got businesses with much deeper pockets, huge budgets?
I think I go back sometimes now, my business partner's left. I go back to where I've got lots more experience, which was running a salon.
Yeah.
Had lots of years of being a hairdresser, running a salon. We invest in people. So I look at some of those principles and like, actually, we need to compete with our potential, not so much the competition. So that's what we're looking at the moment, say, in what ways can we celebrate our potential, celebrate the people, be more personal. And I think, as I said, I'm looking at like, can we get investment now? Because I think that will enable us to give our distributors and our salons and their customers the brand that they want. And I don't think it takes the fortunes that spends on. It just takes a bit more money than we have and spending it wisely.
Yeah.
Also is surrounding yourself with people who appreciate it and know things that we don't know. If I don't know what I don't know, find some people who do know what I don't know. That's kind of where we're looking. Is like, can we fulfill that potential? And I didn't come out. I was listening to the guy behind Gymshark, and he was saying he's got to the point now where he can employ people and he just has to agree with them because they know what he needs to do next.
Yeah, rather than him necessarily knowing. Yeah. What was you talked earlier about the pandemic and that's the challenge that it brought at many businesses. Was that the catalyst for the direct to consumer or being able to offer products online? Is that what drove it, or did you do that before or after?
No, we've always had, since we launched, we had our website.
Yeah.
And we did, in the early days, work with one of the discount platforms, but they weren't so discount orientated. Mm-hmm. So they were good for getting the brand out there. And Kerastraight has some styling products, which not every salon partner carried. So it was good to have options. They then went on this focus of discount, and we're like, no, that's not us. So we came away from that. But I think not every salon partner has the whole range. So we need to make it easier for the consumer to buy.
Yeah.
But at the same point, we can't offer discount unless we're offering it to them first.
Yeah, sure.
We don't tend to focus down that route because we need to support distributors and the salon partners, the freelancers.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're taking off their plate.
That's your bread and butter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think in the future, I expect to grow a much greater online presence. But again, I say we'll look at ways that we can do it together.
Yeah.
We're going to be launching new websites soon. We've found this great guy works in a unit in our development who has a partnering attitude with websites.
Yeah.
So what we need to develop is what he wants to develop. which not every website company has that partnering attitude.
Oh, yeah.
So we're working in collaboration with him. And what a lot of websites are transactional, and that's, but as well, I said to her, I want it to be an experiential website. So if someone wants to come in, buy and go, that's fine. But if someone wants to come in and find out a little bit more, discover more, understand more, we should make that really easy for them. Because when you go to your barbers or your hairdressers, you walk into an experience.
Yeah.
So I think when you come to our websites, they should be an experience. And one thing is strange, when we launched, we had 2 parts to the website, for your hair and for your business. And I've taken advice, because it's not my expertise, over the years, taken advice of changing it in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Now with Adam, we're going back to that 2-phase approach, mirroring what parts of the website, that makes it really easy for the customer to say, actually, that's the bit I need to be. And making sure the language talks to that person on their...
on the consumer bit and on the B2B bit.
Yeah. So we kind of moved away and back and moved away and back.
Yeah.
In conversations with Adam, who's doing it all, he understands, he's leading based on our mission. So it kind of works really well. But I think that's kind of what I learned on the way, is find the people who can passionately take you to the next level of the journey.
Yeah. What was it? So when was the first website? How long?
2009.
2009. And what do you remember what platform that was on?
I don't know. That was my business partner, John, who he come on board to do the artwork. He'd done my website for my salon.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant guy. And we worked very well together. And so that was his thing. He created the website. And when I first worked with him, he said, if something comes about I don't know, I'll learn it, then I'll know it. And I'm like, that's an attitude I can work with. Because the technology changes.
Yeah.
So he created that. And then it's really when we spoke with others, we ended up going different directions.
Yeah.
And recently, the guy who worked with us put us on to something called Craft CRM.
Mm-hmm.
And that seemingly no one else in the world has heard of. And the back end of it is not easy to work with. So we're going back to WordPress, because I think it might have been WordPress, but Adam says, like, we will be able to manage the back end of it so much easier. And his attitude is, if you can't do things, I haven't done my job.
Yeah.
So he's so again, it's partnership. But from what I understand, the world works on WordPress, it seems.
It's a common platform. What was the I mean, have you always been on? What's the website on currently? Do you know?
Craft CRM.
Oh, CRM. Okay, no, I'm not familiar with
No, exactly. That's the trouble. And the thing is, there's lots of things it will do, but also, like, it's not, tech isn't my side of it, but all the connectors that we have through Zapier and things, like we have an online education company, Easy LMS, and everything integrates. So, and the website, everything has to integrate. And I mean, it's quite genius, the systems, when they work, but they are quite genius. But Adam's like technical specialist. Sarah, my number 2, has been with me 23 years, started off as a work experience in my salon.
Wow.
And now she's gone on to be operations director for both the businesses.
Brilliant.
So she's phenomenal, but she understands tech better than I do.
Yeah, sure.
And I think she's naturally a little bit inquisitive, and she'll have a look and have a play.
Yeah.
But she's also really good at explaining it for others.
Yeah.
So she runs the operations, which means I can focus more product development, relationships, building, selling.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, what does the next 12 months look like for you, Jez?
Well, exciting as can be. We're working with this brand specialist to look at our brands and work out how we can say it more succinctly. And we're repackaging as well. So we're looking, Innoluce, it's time to move to a little bit more grown up branding. So we're changing our packaging and changing our marketing messaging and launching the websites. And we've got lots of new launches. So Innolux competes in a sector where everyone is kind of still at their first version. And Innolux currently is at version 3. And we're launching V4 September, October time. So it takes us, we already have the best performers. It takes it to another level again. And then there's the new Fabriq style range launch. So there's loads of product development. There's rebranding, repackaging, and we're having some huge conversations with some distributors and distributor opportunities at the moment.
Brilliant.
So it's all going like, I think we're winding that spring really tightly for September, October time to really get a position where we can go whoosh.
Yeah, good. Sounds exciting.
There's loads going on, just about keeping it in check.
Yeah.
And as I say, we've found some really great people to lead in certain aspects of us, and hopefully we're listening to them to enable us to kick on to the next level. But our salons, our hairdressers, and their clients need our companies to grow to a level where they can't be touched because the performance is there. And that's probably a hard lesson. Getting the product right, for me, should be the hardest thing.
Yeah.
And it's only step one.
Fair enough. One final question for you, Jez. Looking back 16 years, or not necessarily 16 years, but if you were to look back and give yourself some kind of worldly advice, what piece of advice would you give yourself back in the day?
It's really hard because I think we make our decisions based on the best knowledge available at the time.
Yeah, for sure.
And I suppose I had a lot of structure in place to invest in people to know what was right and wrong for my salon. And I suppose putting that in place earlier, growing less organic in that way. And be careful what you're spending money on. We spent over the years, we've always spent ahead.
Yeah.
And we sponsored a lot of things because they thought it would put us at the top table. So we've probably not spent wisely over the years.
Yeah.
But what's that thing? Only 50% of your marketing budget will be spent wisely. You just never know which 50% it's going to be.
Yeah, I guess I suppose what you're saying is perhaps be a bit more frugal, maybe.
I think be a lot more frugal. But I think everything was done in best intentions. I would speak to our distributors or ex-distributors to know kind of what they needed of us at the time. We thought we were doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And it's difficult, I think, when you want to work collaboratively to be fighting like on what people feel nitpicking.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
And you have to find a way of doing it in a way that doesn't upset people. But sometimes we put up with things that perhaps I should have been stronger on.
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Again, it's like the marketing thing. It's hard to know which ones.
Yeah, and it's also easy to look back with hindsight. And I think for me, I mean, one of the things one of the common things with talking to founders is a high degree of optimism. They believe, and I would say that the majority of founders tend to be kind of glass half full kind of people.
Absolutely.
Glass half empty. So that you kind of believe, and I think going back to the bit about being frugal, I think it's a common thing. I mean, we all look back and sort of think like, why did I do that? Well, I did that with the best intentions and with the belief that it was going to work, but maybe I should have been a bit more diligent.
Yeah, and I think the founders are the believing is seeing people. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it in the first place.
Yeah,
for sure. As long as I can see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, I will go again. I will go again. I think that's there's some opportunities they're coming about now, probably because we've stayed to here. You just got to keep going. When things get tough, got to find the way to keep going
Yeah.
and and even though we might be better, if there's a way to be better again, let's find a way to be, because not everyone is that bothered about the performance. They're bothered about marketing.
Yeah.
And I think some of them, they call them unicorns, but sometimes they're a bit firework. They go up really quickly and they drop really quickly.
Yeah.
And while they're on that journey, for us, it feels like we're insignificant because they've had this huge, and maybe the founders then sold, they've taken the money, they've got what they wanted from it. But for our brands, for their future, we just keep going, keep building relationship, keep improving things. And I don't want to get that firework. I want to get to the point where someone called it the jet effect. You've got to get to that cruising altitude. And I was saying to the branding guy, so I want to get to the point where you can get the cruising and have enough in the booster rocket. Then at that point, we can go again.
Yeah.
And I think it's all about like how you get above the break even, how you get to a level of profitability where you can then invest in the things can take you to the next level.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And until we do, we just keep going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just keep going and hopefully learn the lessons along the way and make different mistakes rather than the same mistakes.
Definitely. Excellent. Jez, it's been great having you on. Thank you very much for joining me today. I think there's some really good stuff in there.
Thank you very much. And I hope that's been helpful for your viewers and listeners, that there's something that I've learned along the way. People have helped us a lot along the way. So if I can be of help to anyone else, I'm not sure how, but if someone wants to reach out, if I can be a help in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, brilliant.
And if you know someone who wants to invest in the hair industry, I'm all ears, because we've got the best products, but I have a responsibility to get us where we need to go.
Yeah.
So, thank you for inviting me.
You're
It's
welcome.
been great fun.